Chapter 34. Xiao Ning was a junior in the art department of a university. Her painting major was an art major that the school focused on. Even though she was already a junior, she still had a lot of courses. However, at 9 o'clock in the morning, she was supposed to be sitting in the classroom. At this moment, her face was pale, and she was lying on the bed half dead. Her eyes were empty, and she looked miserable as if she would die at any time. Suddenly, a knock on the door broke the silence in the room and pulled back Xiao Ning's wandering soul. Xiao Ning frowned slightly and did not get up to open the door immediately. The knock on the door continued for a while and then stopped. Just when Xiao Ning thought that the person outside the door had left, the knock on the door sounded again. Xiao Ning's face darkened. She sat up while holding her painful stomach and ran out angrily. As soon as she opened the door of the dormitory, she saw a delivery boy standing at the door and asked charmingly naively, "Excuse me, are you Miss Xia Ningxi? Your express delivery is here." "Delivery? I didn't order." Xiao Ning's words stopped abruptly. She suddenly remembered that she had participated in the lottery in the live broadcast room more than 10 minutes ago and seemed to have won a delivery. Xiao Ning returned to the room with the delivery boy's express delivery. She couldn't wait to open the outer packaging and saw the familiar sweet soup at a glance. The moment the insulated box was opened, the suppressed sweet fragrance rushed to her brain, making her feel refreshed. She didn't know if it was a psychological effect, but when she smelled it, the dull pain in her stomach seemed to be much better. Thinking of what the streamer had said in the live broadcast room, Xiao Ning hesitated for a moment, ran to the other side of the dormitory, and patted the bulge on the bed. Ainin, get up, get up." Little Drum Bun moved a little and grumbled weakly, "What are you doing?" "I was just about to close my eyes, and suddenly you patted me. Look at what this is." Ainin got out of the quilt and looked at the thing Xiao Ning handed over. She frowned and said, "What is this?" "Soup. It smells good, but I don't drink sweet soup, and now I have no appetite. I won this from a streamer's lottery. It's called motherwort and egg soup, and it's said to cure dysmenorrhea. Shall we try it?" Streamer. Lottery. Aren't those unbranded products? Aren't you afraid of getting yourself sent to the hospital? Xiao Ning was actually a little hesitant. However, menstrual cramps weren't considered an illness. When it came to pain, she felt like she was hovering between life and death. "Then why don't I try drinking it? If it works, you can drink it. If there's really a problem, you can call an ambulance for me." And then frowned and held Xiao Ning's hand that was about to withdraw. She said weakly, "Don't. Let me do it. If something really happens and you collapse, I might not have the strength to call an ambulance." Without waiting for Xiao Ning's reaction, Anvin scooped a mouthful of soup and drank it. Xiao Ning couldn't stop her in time and exclaimed, "Anin, are you okay?" Anvin smacked her lips and savored the aftertaste. "It's quite delicious. Xiao Ning, and I don't know if it's just my imagination, but after drinking it, I feel a little warm from my throat to my stomach. Is it that exaggerated?" Xiao Ning was a little suspicious. However, in the next second, she didn't have time to think so much, because her trash roommate actually picked up the thermos container and poured it into her mouth like she was drinking from a bottle. Chapter 35. On the other side, Su Yiyen received a familiar notification as soon as she got off the live stream. She was even more certain that the rich spectator who had appeared out of nowhere was Hu Chenhuan. Although she didn't know how Hu Chenhuan found out that she had opened a live stream and chased after her so quickly, it didn't affect her good mood at all. Especially after that, Su Yiyen received about 300 to 400 favorability points. After 2 days of live streaming, Su Yiyen heaved a sigh of relief. She tidied up the kitchen and was about to leave when she was caught by her mother. I heard from your brother that you personally cooked a love-filled lunch for that person in the family who yesterday and even delivered it to him personally. Su Yiyen was stunned. She immediately cast a condemning look at her elder brother who had told her the news. Su Yuxuan looked up at the ceiling and pretended that he didn't see anything. The cabbage that he had painstakingly raised had been eaten by a pig just like that. He felt wronged. Why are you looking at your brother? Did he wrongly accuse you? No. No. Then it must be true. Qing Shuqin's expression collapsed. She was both angry and amused as she said, why else would people say that a married daughter is like spilled water? You're not even married yet, but you're already cooking a love-filled lunch for someone. If you really get married, how will you remember us old parents in the future? Why is my life so bitter? Qing Shuqin wiped away the non-existent tears on her face as she spoke. Su Yiyen's mouth twitched slightly. She secretly complained that her mother had watched some melodramatic family drama. However, she didn't dare to show any dissatisfaction on her face. She ingratiated herself with Qing Shuqin and said softly, Mom, what are you talking about? How can I forget about you just because I have him? Then why are you so eager to deliver food to him? When Qing Shuqin said this, Father Su and Brother Su, who was not far away, snorted coldly in agreement. Su Yiyen's expression stiffened, but she quickly recovered and sighed softly. Isn't it because I pity him? Pity? That's right. Look at how inconvenient it is for him to walk. His relatives are all like that. You can imagine how difficult his life is. You don't know that unless it's necessary, he doesn't leave his old house. He works and rests there all the time. Isn't it because people outside are unfriendly to him? If I don't accompany him, how pitiful will he be? She was always tough. She was tough. She was soft-hearted. She heard Su's words. Is he really that pitiful? How can it be fake? What kind of people are Hu Xiaofeng's family? It's already good enough that they don't run to Qinhuan and gossip. How can you expect them to treat him well? Qing Shuqin choked. If Su Yiyen had said this before, she might have defended Hu Xiaofeng's family. But now, she and Hu Xiaofeng's mother were best friends since university. She thought that she knew each other well. Otherwise, she wouldn't have agreed to the marriage between Su Yiyen and Hu Xiaofeng. In the end, this family slapped her whole family, especially her best friend's face. Qing Shuqin was really disgusted with that family now. Hu Xiaofeng wasn't a good person. Her best friend and her husband couldn't have raised such a son either. Now that you mention it, it's understandable. Chapter 36. After Qing Shuqin finished speaking, she seemed to realize that it was inappropriate. She coughed awkwardly and said seriously, even so, you can't always go to other people's houses. Wouldn't it be bad if other people saw you? What's wrong with that? We're engaged now, and we meet to improve our relationship. I'm not like Hu Xiaofeng and his girlfriend, who knew that the other party had a fiancé, but still had private dealings with her. People can't say that Qinhuan and I are having an illicit affair, can they? Qing Shuqin thought that it made sense. Her daughter was engaged to Hu Qinhuan. Even if other people were dissatisfied, they couldn't say anything. How could they be like that adulterous couple? They knew that they were engaged, but they still shamelessly hooked up with each other. Thinking of this, Qing Shuqin's tone softened a lot. That's right, but you're a girl, you still have to be careful, especially when your grandpa and the others are coming next week. If you keep going to other people's houses, your grandpa and the others will laugh at you. Su Yiyen's eyes lit up slightly. Grandpa and the others are coming. When? About next Monday. When your grandpa heard about what happened to you, he was so angry that he wanted to come and see you. Your uncle and the others tried to stop him for a long time and coaxed him to come next week. It just so happens that your wedding with Chinhuan is next month. Your grandpa also wants to take advantage of this time to come and spend more time with you. When Su Yiyan heard Qing Shuqin's words, the rims of her eyes became slightly hot. When Qing Shuqin gave birth to Su Yiyan, the couple was at a critical stage in their careers. Their eldest son was fine and spent most of his time in school, but their youngest daughter was difficult to arrange. Su Yiyan's parents died early, and there were no elders in the family that could be entrusted to them. In the end, the couple discussed and simply sent Su Yiyan to her grandpa. It was no exaggeration to say that Su Yiyan was largely raised by her grandpa. Even after their careers stabilized and they brought Su Yiyan back, Su Yiyan would specially go back every winter and summer to accompany her grandpa. However, this grandpa who loved her to the bone suffered a huge blow because of her and her mother's deaths in her previous life. Since then, he had been bedridden and passed away not long after. What was even more frightening was that a few months after her grandpa's death, the Qing family was inexplicably involved in a big case, and the family was destroyed. When Su Yiyan learned about this in her previous life, she only felt shocked and heartbroken. However, after reading the original novel and knowing that there was a world's consciousness, she suddenly woke up. This was not an accident, but a certain someone's so-called protagonist's aura. Su Yiyan suppressed her resentment toward the two scumbags and smiled slightly. Since Grandpa is coming, of course, I will stay at home to accompany Grandpa. I won't run around. Qing Shuqin heard her words and felt slightly relieved. Then, as if she had thought of something, she reminded her, "Oh right, your aunt will probably come with your grandpa. You should be careful." Su Yiyan raised her eyebrows and immediately understood what she meant. "Aunt, there's still no improvement." Su Yiyan's grandpa had two children, a boy and a girl. The girl was Qing Shuqin, and the boy was Su Yiyan's little uncle. Su Yiyan's little uncle had a dignified appearance and an excellent temperament. He was talented, handsome, and capable. He could be considered a perfect man. However, he had been married for more than 10 years and was almost 40 years old, but he still did not have any children. Chapter 37. Su Yiyan's eyes flickered when she thought of her aunt's illness. It seemed that she had to think of a way to speed up her pace. Qing Shuqin sighed when he thought of his sister-in-law's situation. How can it be so easy? If she could improve so quickly, this matter wouldn't have trapped your uncle and aunt for more than 10 years. What your uncle means is that your aunt is always staying at home. Not only is she too bored, but she also likes to let her imagination run wild. Why don't she take this opportunity to walk around with the old man and take it as a distraction? That's good too. Let my aunt walk around and look around. Maybe when she's in a good mood, other things will also get better. I hope so. Qing Shuqin nodded and looked at Su Yiyan again. By the way, I told your father 2 days ago that you're graduating this year. Do you have any other plans? Other plans? Yes. Do you want to enter the company to gain experience or take a break first? Or go on a trip or something? Or do you want to go on a honeymoon with Huan? Honeymoon. Su Yiyan was undoubtedly tempted by this suggestion. However, when she thought of Hua Chinhuan's leg, forget it. She should work hard to earn favorability points first. Honeymoon and whatnot could wait until Hua Chinhuan got better. There was no rush at this time. After Qing Shuqin finished speaking, he obviously thought of this as well. His face revealed an awkward expression. Su Yuxuan saw this and quickly took over the topic. If you're interested in the entertainment industry, our family has an entertainment company. You can give it a try first. If you like it, you can manage it in the future. The Su family had a lot of companies. Most of them had been handed over to Su Yuxuan. The reason why he mentioned this entertainment company was mainly because he felt that although this company was relatively small, its internal development had matured. If Su Yiyan went in to take over, there wouldn't be too many troubles and it wouldn't be too tiring. When Su Yiyan heard her brother mention the entertainment company, her expression changed. If she remembered correctly, this company, brother, is our entertainment company preparing for a female celebrity talent show recently? That seems to be the case. Although this company was under his name, he had several companies under him. This one was relatively small and was originally reserved for Su Yiyan. Generally speaking, he would be asked about major matters, while his trusted subordinates would deal with minor matters. Su Yuxuan had seen this variety show in his company's proposal before. He had some recollection of it, but he didn't really participate in it. Su Yiyan's eyes flickered as he smiled faintly. Can I go to that company to have a look? Of course, I'll take you there tomorrow. There's no need for that. Just find someone to send me over to take a look. If you follow them, you'll definitely have to mobilize a lot of people. What's the point of that? When Su Yuxuan heard that, he immediately realized that his sister was preparing to secretly investigate, so he didn't force her. Alright, I'll get Ashing to send you over tomorrow. Yes. Alright, since we've decided, let's go take a look. If we like it, we'll go again. If we don't like it, we'll pick something else. Qing Shuqin and Su Yuxuan looked at each other and heaved a sigh of relief. In fact, Hua Qinhuan's people had acted very quickly. Last night, they had already sent over the list of betrothal gifts for the two of them. The large row of precious real estate almost made the Su family suspect that Hua Qinhuan had emptied his family's fortune in order to marry their daughter. However, Hua Qinhuan's actions made the Su family have a better impression of him. Chapter 38. Just this point alone made him much better than Hua Xiaofeng. Hua Qinhuan had shown her sincerity, and they didn't want Su Yiyan's dowry to be too shabby, so they planned to let Su Yiyan choose by herself. When the time came, she could transfer the shares of whichever company she liked to her name. At least she wouldn't be unable to raise her head in front of her husband's family. Cough cough cough, cough cough cough. Seeing his wife and child talking together, Mr. Su, who hadn't received any attention for a long time, finally couldn't bear to be left out and made his presence known. Su Yiyan heard him cough and immediately asked with concern, "Dad, what's wrong?" Qing Shuqin saw through her husband's clumsy acting at a glance. She was annoyed and amused at the same time. He's been complaining that his throat is dry and he's not feeling well. Just ignore him. When Mr. Su heard his wife's words, he immediately snorted in grievance to show his dissatisfaction. Su Yiyan saw this and understood what he meant. She smiled and said, "Dad's throat is probably a little dry. I'll stew some snow pear with rock sugar for him to eat later. It'll moisten his lungs and stop his cough. He'll be fine soon." Snow pear with rock sugar. Qing Shuqin didn't know what that was. But when she heard that her daughter was going to make something for this guy, she immediately felt jealous. Especially when she saw Mr. Su's eyes suddenly lit up and the obvious smirk at the corner of his mouth, she couldn't help but feel angry. What about me? I've been feeling weak recently. Weak? Su Yiyan immediately changed the topic to please her father. Then I'll make some wolfberry and red date tea for you later. It's good for your liver, eyesight, and beauty. Brother has been staying up late recently, so his eyes are probably not feeling well. Let's drink some together. Su Yuxuan. So, in the end, he was just a side benefit. How heart-wrenching. As long as it was a woman, she couldn't compete with beauty. Qing Shuqin's expression immediately brightened. She suppressed her smile and said, "That's more like it." Su Yiyan spent a lot of effort to coax her family, who loved to fight for favor, and was tired but happy at the same time. When he finally had some free time, he received feedback from a few lucky viewers. Congratulations, host. You have gained conviction +4. Detected that the host's conviction has reached 5. A key support skill can be unlocked. Would you like to unlock it? Key support skills. There are different types of support skills. There are only 4 key auxiliary skills, which are the traditional Chinese medicine skills of looking, smelling, asking, and feeling the pulse. They are general skills and can only be activated when one's faith value reaches a certain level. Look, listen, question and feel the pulse. Su Yiyan muttered. Activate it. Congratulations, host. You have unlocked an important support skill, observation. You can use this skill to observe other people's bodies and determine their physical condition and severity of illness. There is a 0.1% 1% error in judgment. Su Yiyan. Even the ellipsis was used. The probability of a misjudgment was probably 1 in a billion. However, this skill was indeed useful. No wonder it required 5 faith to activate. Su Yiyan couldn't wait to see the effect of the support skill, so he immediately walked around his house. Then, he saw that the old gardener, who was in his 40s or 50s, had a slight hangover. The cook, Auntie Li, was going through menopause. The new servant, Xiao Kai, had some irregular menstruation. The old driver, who liked to smoke, had some lung problems, and there was also a little trouble with sex. On the other hand, the family of 3, who had just said that their throats were uncomfortable and that they had been staying up late and feeling weak, were in great health and had no problems at all. Chapter 39. Su Yiyan, who had no intention of prying into the truth, felt that she knew too much. She didn't dare to stay outside and decisively ran back to her room, wanting to share her feelings with someone. Are you in a good mood? As soon as Hu Chenhuan picked up Su Yiyan's video call invitation, she saw that someone's smile almost reached her neck. Her mood also improved a little. My grandpa is coming next week. Well, keep him company. Hu Chenhuan knew that Su Yiyan had a good relationship with her grandpa, so she didn't suspect anything. Then she seemed to think of something and said carefully, "Does he know about our engagement? Are you worried?" Su Yiyan keenly sensed Hu Chenhuan's nervousness and said with a smile, "Don't worry. My grandpa is a very good person. He will definitely like you as much as he likes me." The person on the screen was full of his existence and whispered her love for him. Hu Chenhuan's heart softened and she said in a hoarse voice, "He loves you very much. My grandpa loves me the most, so he will definitely like you. Not only because you love me, but also because you love me as much as I love you, or even more than I love you. But I have a bad news to tell you in advance. My mother said that it's too unreserved for a girl to always take the initiative to look for someone, so she doesn't want me to always look for you. And my grandpa and aunt are coming next week. I have to accompany them, so I may not be able to look for you." Hu Chenhuan's eyes darkened when she heard that. "It doesn't matter. We have plenty of time, in the future." Su Yiyan's eyes lit up. Yes, they had plenty of time in the future. They would get married next month, and what awaited them would be decades of companionship, never leaving each other. Although she thought so, Su Yiyan still curled her lips unhappily. "But I want to see you as soon as possible." Hu Chenhuan's heart moved slightly, and she said tentatively, "Then I'll look for you tomorrow." "Well, the day after tomorrow. I have an appointment with my brother tomorrow. We're going to take a look at our family's company." "Okay," Hu Chenhuan said and then asked, "Do you need me to send someone to accompany you?" "No need, my brother has already arranged for someone to guide me. Besides, no matter what, it's still our company. Nothing will happen." "Yes." Su Yiyan rolled her eyes and said softly, "I want to see you. I want to see how you look. Is that okay?" Hu Chenhuan was silent for a long time. Suddenly, the screen shook. Then, the scene changed. Su Yiyen saw Hua Chenhuan's back facing her. Hua Chenhuan had moved his wheelchair to a spot not far away. The moment he turned around, Su Yiyen saw the red area below Hua Chenhuan's waist. This meant that what he said before was not an exaggeration. Almost all the parts below his waist were in a necrotic state. Knowing was one thing, but seeing this scene with her own eyes, Su Yiyen could not stop her eyes from turning red. She suppressed the heartache and bitterness in her heart, and said with a trembling voice, "You'll get better." "What?" Hua Chenhuan came in front of the camera again. He did not hear Su Yiyen's words clearly. "I mean, we'll get better and better in the future." Su Yiyen sniffled and said with a faint smile, "Trust me." Hua Chenhuan had grown up, and for the first time, he realized that the word future could be so beautiful. The existence of the person in front of him injected a ray of light into his lifeless life. It gave him a little more hope and warmth for this world that he had once hated. Chapter 40. Su Yiyen could not control her emotions. She took a deep breath and said, "Then you should rest early. I have to prepare the things I need to bring to the company tomorrow." Su Yiyen was about to hang up the video call when Hua Chenhuan suddenly shouted, "Wait." "Ha!" Su Yiyen was confused. Then, she saw a familiar little figure appear in front of the camera. Dun Dun, who had been playing with Chiu Chiu in circles around its father's wheelchair, was suddenly grabbed by the armpits of its fate. It looked at the owner of the phone with a dumbfounded expression. Little Corgi's eyes lit up. Just as he was about to greet his master, he felt that his entire body had been thrown away, and his butt was facing backward. Little Corgi. Su Yiyen looked at the familiar heart-shaped butt on the screen. She was stunned for a few seconds before she realized what Hua Chenhuan meant. She burst out laughing. Hua Chenhuan, who used the dog to cover her face, heard Su Yiyen's laughter, and her face turned even redder. She was glad that she had the foresight to use the dog as a shield. Su Yiyen laughed for a while before she stopped. She smiled and said, "I got it." Then, she crossed her hands in front of her heart and made a heart shape. "Love you." It was obviously a simple action, but in Hua Chenhuan's eyes, it was so beautiful that it was like a dream. When Zui Yanbai rushed to the old house with the information, she saw her young master holding a cat teaser and teasing around, short-legged Corgi. Corgi's legs were short, so it could not touch the seductive cat teaser several times. Its patience finally failed. It kicked its hind legs and grabbed Hua Chenhuan's wrist with its two front paws. The dog opened its mouth and bit the pole of the cat teaser. It snatched the stick from Hua Chenhuan's hand and spat it on the ground. Her chubby little buttocks accurately sat down, and the cat teaser sat right under her buttocks. After doing all this, the little brat did not seem to have vented his anger. He moved little by little from his sitting position and turned his back to Hua Chenhuan, showing half of his little butt. Zui Yanbai was speechless. Was this dog a demon? Although there was no expression on Hua Chenhuan's face, his usually deep and cold eyes clearly contained a gentle smile that had never been seen before. Zui Yanbai was a little surprised, but he quickly figured out the reason and walked towards Hua Chenhuan. When Hua Chenhuan saw him coming over, the smile in her eyes faded slightly. She asked coldly, "What's the matter?" "We've made some progress on the matter you asked us to investigate. The development zone in the suburbs is indeed related to Hua Xiaofeng, but it's impossible for him to have the ability to do so. The person behind this," Hua Chenhuan's eyes were slightly cold. "Hua Qihan has become more and more restless recently." "Yes, he's just a..." Zui Yanbai's tone was full of disdain, but he did not say more. "Just keep an eye on him. Don't alert him." "Yes." Hua Chenhuan looked down at Dun Dun, who was still throwing a tantrum, and asked casually, "Have you sent the list of betrothal gifts to Yan Yan's family?" "Some of the bigger industries have been sent, and some of the smaller ones are still being compiled. Zhuo Yanbai and the others did not agree with Hu Qinhuan's decision to give away most of the industries under her name as betrothal gifts. But after all, those things belonged to Hu Qinhuan. He could arrange them however he wanted, and they could not say anything. Chapter 41. Although Zhuo Yanbai did not know why Hu Qinhuan had handed over such a large business and instead chose to keep Yuzian's small live streaming platform, he still nodded and agreed to this matter. Okay, I'll take note. Also, there's one more thing. What is it? It's about Hu Xiaofeng's, girlfriend. Hu Qinhuan's face darkened. Her. What did she do? That woman seems to want to enter the entertainment industry. Recently, she participated in a variety show co-organized by young Madam's family. She passed the auditions. Does the Su family know about this? I don't think so. Although young Madam's management company is one of the organizers of the variety show, they are at most an investor. They invest in the show with other companies, and then send some of their artists to the show to gain fame and create stars. That woman participated in the show as a freelance artist. She probably wants to use this opportunity to find a good management company for herself. I'm afraid the Su family doesn't know about this. Think of a way to get rid of her. Zhuo Yanbai's face changed slightly. Get rid of her. Hu Qinhuan glanced at him coldly. Is it that difficult to make an unknown newcomer disappear from a variety show? That woman wanted to enter the entertainment industry after doing such a thing and become a glamorous star. She was dreaming. Although he had praised her to the skies and exposed the fact that she had interfered with someone else's marriage in the name of love, it was enough to destroy this woman and make Hu Xiaofeng and his son the laughing stock of high society once again. However, if he really did that, Su Yiyan would be implicated and the old scars would be opened again. Hu Qinhuan would never let such a thing happen. The best solution was to make that woman stop appearing in front of the public forever. If that woman didn't cooperate, Hu Qinhuan narrowed his eyes, revealing a murderous look. He didn't mind using some extreme methods. Zhuo Yanbai breathed a sigh of relief. He couldn't be blamed for being scared. Someone's tone just now was as if he wanted that woman to disappear from the world in the next second. I understand. I'll arrange it when I get back. Also, I found out that this woman is a streamer on Xian's streaming platform. She seems to have a lot of fans, and the platform is quite supportive of her. At this point, Zhuo Yanbai couldn't help but look up at Hu Qinhuan. Could it be that young master knew that this woman signed with Xian's streaming platform, so he deliberately only kept this industry? But looking at young master's expression, he didn't seem to know this at all. Indeed, Hu Qinhuan didn't know this. He thought of Su Yiyan. Did she know that that woman was on the same streaming platform as her? Was it a coincidence or was it on purpose? Xian has been getting more and more lax lately. He doesn't sign what he should sign, and he treats those he shouldn't sign like a treasure. When Zhuo Yanbai heard this, he couldn't help but feel a chill down his spine. He silently lit a candle for Yuzian in his heart. At this moment, Yuzian was trying his best to negotiate with the person who should have signed with him the most. Achoo! Yuzian rubbed his itchy nose and subconsciously shrank his neck. He was confused. Why do I feel so cold all of a sudden? Could it be that I've been too worried recently and my body is weak? Chapter 42. Su Yiyan didn't deliberately ignore him for the past 2 days. She didn't notice the first message sent before she started streaming. Later, after the streaming ended, Su Yiyan was pulled away by her family for a heart-to-heart talk. It wasn't until the end of the video call with Hu Qinhuan that night that Su Yiyan found the contract lying in the private message. Su Yiyan didn't know much about similar contracts, so she simply threw the contract to her company's legal department. After confirming that there were no traps in the contract, she replied to Zian directly, "I've read the contract, there's basically no problem. It's just that the streaming time. Does your platform have any hard and fast rules? For example, when must I stream and how many hours must I stream every month?" Zian almost cried on the spot when he received her reply, "No, our platform is very user-friendly. You can stream whenever you want and for as long as you want. The website won't interfere with this." Su Yiyan raised her eyebrows and didn't think much of it. She just thought that the other party's attitude was so good because of the huge reward that Hu Qinghuan had given her not long ago. After that, Su Yiyan raised a few small conditions that weren't too excessive, and the other party agreed to all of them. This made Su Yiyan feel that her guess was right. In the end, the two of them reached an agreement and quickly signed the electronic contract online. Su Yiyan's streaming room finally changed to assigned state. The next morning, Su Yiyan opened the streaming room on time and found that a large number of viewers had suddenly flooded into the room. When she went offline yesterday, there were clearly more than 2,000 people in the room, but the number of people flooding in was at least a few times more than yesterday. It easily broke the 10,000 mark and was still skyrocketing. Su Yiyan was stunned for a moment. She thought that the platform had recommended her after she signed the contract yesterday, until, "The streamer is finally online, a girl with dysmenorrhea begs for love. I've waited for a day, the streamer is finally online. Streamer, where can I buy motherwort and red dates? I couldn't find them online. I'm from our little cutie she. Can sweet soup really cure dysmenorrhea? Streamer, can you give me a bowl too? Anan, that stubborn old patient, can be cured. I believe that the streamer's sweet soup is really effective. So, will the streamer still make sweet soup today? Can you give me a black box? I can't afford to hurt a baby on her period. Host, please save the child. I've been suffering from dysmenorrhea for more than 10 years and I'm waiting to be rescued. If this continues every month, I'm really going to die. I'm a third-year student who bumped into my side during my period. Please save me. If you don't save me, I might not be able to graduate from university. Kong Hand. JPG, CC. And then Su Yiyan vaguely found two unfamiliar names in the dense bullet screen. System, what's going on? After investigation, it was found that two well-known bloggers on the internet recommended and shared the host's live broadcast video and expressed their sincere gratitude to the host on the public platform, which attracted a large number of viewers for the host. A well-known blogger. Su Yiyan poked her phone at a place where the camera couldn't capture. She opened the public platform and tried to search for keywords. Sure enough, the sincere recommendations of the two bloggers popped up. Of these two bloggers, one ID was Xiaoyuning Shi, a famous female cosplayer in the two-dimensional world. The other ID was Enjiru Su, a famous painter in the circle. Chapter 43. In this post, Xiaoyuning Shi briefly explained the ins and outs of the matter, saying that she was on her period and clicked on the live broadcast platform to find an interesting live broadcast to divert her attention, but accidentally entered Su Yiyan's live broadcast room. After watching the whole live broadcast, she participated in the lucky draw with a fluke mentality and didn't expect to really win. After getting the finished product, Xiaoyuning Shi and her roommate, who was also on her period, drank the soup with the mentality of treating a dead horse as a living horse, and the result, it was really delicious. In the second half of the article, Xiaoyuning Shi used hundreds of words to describe her feelings during the process of drinking the soup and later, full of sincere feelings. Su Yiyan, the person involved, could not help but blush when she heard those gorgeous and exaggerated words of praise. She felt a little embarrassed. In the end, Xiaoyuning Shi was particularly indignant and complained about her ungrateful roommate who tried to eat the soup alone. She expressed that she was kind enough to share good things with her roommate, but her heart was broken and resentful, which amused many of her fans. However, this wasn't the end. Not long after Xiaoningsi's post was posted, another blogger followed up and confirmed her words, and emphasized that he was the roommate mentioned by Xiaoningsi. The influence of the two big V bloggers with their own traffic could be imagined. Many fans of the two sighed that the two were roommates and best friends, and rushed into Su Yiyan's live broadcast room, wanting to see with their own eyes if the streamer recommended by their own blogger was really so powerful. Su Yiyan understood the ins and outs of the matter, and finally understood why he received 4 gratitude points when he only sent out 3 lucky draw gifts yesterday. Su Yiyan was surprised by this unexpected surprise, and a colorful LED message suddenly appeared on the bullet screen. Congratulations to the streamer, Yen Yen, for receiving, did your period leave today? The giant yacht *1, please continue to work hard, and don't let down the little cutie's expectations. Ha 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 ha, streamer, do you still remember me? I'm the lucky viewer who was selected by the streamer last time. It doesn't matter if you don't remember, since I drank the streamer's soup, I'm the streamer's person. From today onwards, I'm your loyal Audience Plus fan. I don't ask for anything else, just a bowl of soup to drink during my period. 3. The bullet screen had just been sent out. Did your period leave today? Then several giant yachts were smashed in a row. These giant yachts were more advanced than the diamonds popular in the previous live broadcast room. Each yacht cost 1,000 renminbi, and the special effects were also more beautiful. The viewers in the live broadcast room watched the yachts whizzing by one after the other. They were hesitating about whether they should follow the trend, when another unfamiliar idea appeared in front of everyone. Congratulations to the host, Yen Yen, for receiving a huge yacht *1 from, my roommate is a fool. Please continue to work hard and don't let down the little cutie's expectations. Thank you for the sweet soup, streamer. The effect is unexpectedly good. This is really the best period I've had in the past few years. In addition, let me introduce myself. I'm the roommate of the idiot above, and I'll also be a loyal viewer of the streamer in the future. I'm looking for familiarity, please flip the card, please draw. Chapter 44. If the menstrual girl's reward at the beginning only showed her generosity, then the appearance of this viewer and her choice of words made people think more. Especially at this time, most of the people in the live broadcast room came over after seeing the recommendation of a certain 2 people. The lucky viewer who was selected. Roommate. I think I know something, me too. What kind of secret signal are the people above secretly giving each other? Say it with me. Don't let go of my little CC. Take away our Ainin. I never thought that one day I would be in the same live broadcast room as my wallflower and watch the same live broadcast. Rounding it up, it's me and little CC. What are you daydreaming about, upstairs? My wife is in my bed right now. Seeing that the audience's topic was getting more and more restricted, Su Yiyan finally couldn't help but cough softly in order to prevent her live broadcast room from being blocked. She pulled the audience's attention back. Ahem, thank you for your rewards. I'm very happy to be able to help. Just reward according to your ability. Okay, back to the topic. Let's introduce the medicinal cuisine I'm going to make today. As soon as Su Yiyan's voice fell, a few messages immediately floated on the screen, asking if she was going to make the previous medicinal cuisine to treat dysmenorrhea and whether she was going to draw a prize. Since I've already made a medicinal cuisine to treat dysmenorrhea yesterday, in order to stop my male compatriots from saying that I'm biased and unfair, I've decided to make a medicinal cuisine to improve their hidden ailments today. Many of the audience watching the live broadcast were a little disappointed when they heard this. After all, most of them had watched the recommendation of the other 2 bloggers and Su Yiyan's last video. Now, she said that she wasn't going to make this. However, seeing that the number of viewers in the live broadcast room has exceeded 10,000, and everyone is so supportive of me, I'll make a simpler tea in a while. It's effective for irregular menstruation, dysmenorrhea, and even amenorrhea caused by qi stagnation and blood stasis. Those who are interested can pay attention later. The audience's mood was like riding a roller coaster. They thought that there was no hope and wanted to leave, but when they heard this, they were all hooked back. Is it that magical? I'm looking forward to it. Amenorrhea is effective. What kind of tea is so magical? Can you do it now? I want to see. I'm curious about the new medicinal cuisine that the streamer is going to make today, and the hidden disease of that man. It can't be what I'm thinking, right? A large number of female compatriots once again joined the bullet screen army. The pitiful male compatriots were mixed in with them, and the few questions they sent out were also drowned out by the dense number of comments. Then let's make the first medicinal cuisine, seahorse keel soup. The ingredients needed are the pig's keel, which is the spine of a pig, a carrot, and... Su Yiyen pointed at the dried ingredients placed in the bowl. Seahorses. Seahorse. What was that? Why does he look so strange? This thing is dry and looks a little like dry goods, but it also looks a little like an animal. So, what is it? I've never heard of it. Su Yiyen was not in a hurry to answer the questions in the live broadcast room. Instead, he chopped the pig dragon bones into pieces and rinsed them with water. Then, he peeled and cut the carrots into pieces. He washed them together with the seahorse and put them into the stew pot together with the pig dragon bones. Chapter 45. After a few seconds, everyone came back to their senses, and the bullet screen became crowded again. The host is amazing. Her knife skills are so neat, and it's done in just a few cuts. You can tell that she must have cooked a lot. When will someone like me, who can cut a small cucumber and see blood, have such amazing skills? I'm admiring her. Upstairs, I'm not trying to discourage you, but with your terrible skills, I'm afraid that you'll chop off your own hand before you can practice the host's knife skills. Is she that cruel? Su Yiyen looked at the comments on the screen and suddenly remembered that she had previously unlocked an auxiliary knife skill. She had been too busy recently to try it out. It would take some time for the soup to be cooked, so why not? This soup still needs to be stewed for a while before it's ready. It's boring for everyone to just wait. How about this? I'll carve a flower for you all to see. When it's about time, we'll make another tea. Everyone. Carve a flower. What did she mean by that? How was she going to carve a flower for them to see? How could she make carving sound so simple? One question after another bombarded the audience's heads. Before they could react, they saw the fair hand on the screen pick out a green carrot from the freezer. After cutting it neatly, they only saw a flash of light in front of their eyes. The pink filaments of the carrot rustled and fell to the side, and a beautiful rose's embryonic form was quickly perfected at an extraordinary speed. A few minutes later, a lifelike rose lay quietly in the middle of the snow-white plate, looking extraordinarily delicate and beautiful. The live broadcast room was dead silent for a few seconds. There were no comments on the screen, and it was empty. Su Yiyen was scared away by herself. Ahem, I haven't carved in a long time, and my skills are a bit rusty. Everyone, let's see. The audience seemed to have been awakened, and they excitedly spammed the bullet screen. F***CK. 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 The screen was full of F***CK, and Su Yiyen's hand and the plate of carrot flowers were blocked. You call this rusty? How am I supposed to live with my terrible skills? Host, I suspect that you're mocking me. Other people's hands are fighting my hands. What use do I have for these hands? Is this knife what I lack? No, what I lack is this pair of hands. I can only blame myself for being uncultured. I can only say, F***ck the world. Host, please accept me. In this era where everyone ate nutrient solutions, chefs mostly existed in high-class restaurants and private kitchens, and basically relied on machines to process ingredients. Many people who could cook their own boiled cabbage or cut cucumbers. Many people thought that Su Yin's ability to carve a flower in such a short period of time with only her own hands, and the flower was so lifelike, was already a miracle in many people's eyes. In contrast, the favorability points that Su Yin needed the most at this time had also begun to rise. In just a few minutes, it had exceeded 10,000 points and was still increasing. Chapter 46. Happiness came too suddenly. Su Yiyan did not expect that after working so hard for 3 days to make the medicinal cuisine, the favorability point she earned from carving a flower was not as much as the favorability point she earned. However, this was understandable. No matter how good the medicinal cuisine was, there were only a few people who could enjoy it. Moreover, no matter how well others boasted about it, most people who had not experienced it personally would have a certain degree of skepticism in their hearts. On the other hand, this flower carving had already given them a huge impact just from the visual aspect, not to mention the other aspects. Su Yiyan listened to the crisp sound of her favorability points soaring in her head. She glanced at the comments on the screen that were shouting for her to carve another one. She picked up the remaining larger red heart carrot and with a few swishes, she carved another bud. It looked bigger than the previous one, but it looked more like a rose bud. Her speed was 2 to 3 minutes faster than the previous one. Then, without waiting for the audience to sigh, Su Yiyan took out another carrot from the fridge. The knife flew up and down, carving a wooden stake that looked like a pine tree branch and a slightly longer branch. Then, she recycled the green skin of the red heart carrot and carved a few small and cute green leaves. Finally, she glued the flower and leaves together with a toothpick and fixed them on the wooden stake. One flower hung on the branch, while the other fell on the edge of the wooden stake. It looked as beautiful as a painting. Su Yiyan looked at it and felt that something was missing. After pondering for a moment, she took out a ball of dough that was left over from fermentation and kneaded it into a flat ball. After carving it a little, she fixed it behind the wooden stake. The round ball looked like a crescent moon hanging in the sky. With the red flowers and green leaves on the branch, it looked even more artistic. If they had only seen a flower before, the audience could still barely maintain their calm and type out the word, F***ck. Now that they saw a complete carving, the audience could only rely on their instincts to type out the word, F***ck. Through the screen, Su Yiyan could imagine the audience's current expressions and their uncontrollable screams. The corners of her lips could not help but curl up. After another round of spam, the rewards in the live streaming room also reached a peak. Su Yiyan roughly glanced at the pop-up screen. Most of the comments were praises and recognition of her knife skills. There were even a few people asking if this carving could be used as a lucky draw or sold directly. They were willing to pay for it. Su Yiyan stared blankly for a moment before she laughed in spite of herself. If you guys really like it, this finished product can be given to the lucky audience along with the other 2 medicinal cuisines. But after all, it's only a carving. If you want to eat it, you'd better steam it yourself when you get back. Before Su Yiyan could finish his words, he was condemned by many people. Host, are you a devil? How could he bear to eat such a beautiful thing? That's right, that's right. This is a work of art. We should find a way to preserve it. Su Yiyan. Alright, as long as you guys are happy. Then today's carving will end here. If there's a chance next time, I'll carve a bird for you all to see. Su Yiyan was just saying it casually. Who would have thought, bird? I suspect that the host is driving, but I have no evidence. What evidence do you need? I'll help you prove that the host is driving. It's good that you know. Why did you have to say it out loud? He, the person above is smiling too wretchedly. Get out. Chapter 47. Su Yiyen's expression froze for a moment. She opened her mouth to explain, but she realized that there were people taking advantage of the opportunity to broadcast a matchmaking advertisement. Host, do you still need a boyfriend? Graduated from a famous university, own property, company, savings of XX million, are you sure you don't want to consider? You want to win the host's heart with XX million in savings, who gave you the courage? Host, look at me, my annual salary is $1 million, I have 7 or 8 chain stores under my name, I have a house, I have a car, and I even have free shipping. What's wrong with that? A good gourmet livestream was forcefully turned into a matchmaking livestream. All kinds of flattery were just to gain the host's favor. Su Yiyen. Just focus on the livestream, what are you all thinking? Before she could react to this sudden situation, she saw the live stream was suddenly flooded with a large amount of red special effects. Congratulations to host, Yen, for receiving 9,999 roses from a loyal viewer, Mulberry Yusu. It means forever and never to be separated. Congratulations to host, Yen, for receiving a luxurious villa from a loyal viewer, Mulberry Yusu. It has been detected that Mulberry Yusu has tipped enough money in the live stream to reach the upgrade requirement. It has automatically advanced to the host's Silver Guardian. The matchmaking discussion in the live stream came to an abrupt end. A few seconds later, the marriage-seeking people who were the happiest before jumped out again, and the words they typed were quite sour. It's just a villa, I can afford it. Wait, I'll send a few sets to the host now. As soon as this message was sent, the live stream was once again flooded with gifts, but the person who sent this gift was not the viewer who left the message, but the person who was jealous. Congratulations to host, Yen, for receiving 10 luxurious villa from a loyal viewer, Mulberry Yusu. Congratulations to host, Yen, for receiving 520 giant oil tankers from a loyal viewer, Mulberry Yusu. Congratulations to host, Yen, for receiving 9,999 roses from a loyal viewer, Mulberry Yusu. Congratulations, detected that Mulberry the Mountain has reached the level requirement. Automatically upgraded to become the golden guardian of the streamer room. The densely packed rewards made the sour lemon spirit choke. After a long while, she finally choked out a sentence. Boss, you win. Goodbye QAQ. Hua Ji now snorted in disdain as she stroked her stupid dog's head. If you want to compete with me in terms of wealth, you're all trash. Even with this, he still wanted to steal his woman. Did he really think he was a pushover? Hua Qinhuan's reward was not small. According to the rules of the website, small rewards would be broadcasted in the live broadcast room, medium rewards such as cruise ships would be broadcasted in a single channel, and big rewards such as villas would be broadcasted all over the internet. Hua Qinhuan had smashed 11 villas in one go, almost occupying all the broadcast spots. She had also pushed Su Yiyen's live streaming room to the top of the daily donation list. Inevitably, it attracted a lot of new viewers. Watch the rich person. Watch the rich person +1, TISK, TSK. 11 villas. This rich person must be rich. Chapter 48. There were all sorts of crazy comments in the live stream, and some of the old viewers who had been following Su Yiyen for the past 2 days were a little excited when they saw her. Ha, the number 1 daddy is unhappy, so he's making a big move. I knew that with the live stream today, the number 1 daddy would come out sooner or later. After all, the number one daddy is our host's true love. Number one daddy, as long as I don't fall, all of you will still be concubines. All of you, back off. Hu Chenhuan's dazzling 520 diamond ring when she first came to the live stream was still fresh in the minds of many people. Her appearance now inevitably led to a wave of ridicule. Su Yiyan was angry and amused at the same time when she saw these gifts. Although she had signed a 60-40th split with the platform, it was still 40% after all. This prodigal man. However, it was undeniable that although the girls said that it was a waste of money, in reality, she was completely defenseless against such sugar-coated bullets. At a place where the camera couldn't capture, Su Yiyan's mouth unconsciously hung high, announcing her good mood at that moment. Everyone, stop giving gifts and stop discussing whether he's a boyfriend or not. I'm married. If you do this, my husband will be jealous. Su Yiyan's words were as powerful as an atomic bomb, and it blew up the people who were still making a big fuss on the screen. The host is married. Her voice is clearly very young. How did she get married so early? Yeah, and the host doesn't have a diamond ring on her hand. Could she be lying to us? Is the person above stupid? Why would the host lie to us about this? Doesn't she know that many of the viewers are fans of single people? Being married is a sensitive identity that can easily cause fans to lose their fans. Pfft. Fans of single people. These days, fans of a host have to care if she's single or not. Wake up, we're fans of a host who doesn't show her face. We're fans of her cooking. I'm a fan of her hands. I'm a fan of her voice. I'm a fan of her voice. Honest people don't resort to insinuations. I'm a fan of her knife skills. I don't care if she's married or not. As long as she can cure my period, I'll be her die-hard fan. The speaker didn't mean it, but the listener did. While the viewers in the live broadcast room were discussing Su Yiyan's marriage, Hu Chenhuan's attention was focused on the question of the diamond ring raised by a certain viewer. He was too careless. How could he have missed such an important thing? Is Hermes free these days? Zhou Yanbai understood and said, when Mr. Hermes found out that young master and Miss Su are getting married next month, he specially set aside a month's time. Hu Chenhuan's brows furrowed slightly. This was something that everyone else could think of, but as the person involved, he felt conflicted because of that inexplicable struggle. Tell him to try his best to rush out an engagement ring within half a month. Zhou Yanbai's eyes flickered. He nodded and said, okay, I'll contact him later. Also, come up with a proposal. Zhou Yanbai was slightly taken aback. You mean, I made a promise to Yanyan's father. Whatever others have, Yanyan will have. Of course, this included a marriage proposal. Zhou Yanbai nodded knowingly. I understand. Hu Chenhuan rubbed Dundun's furry and fleshy neck. His fingers constantly shuttling through the hair had already revealed his inner expectations. Chapter 49. Dundun felt disgusted, but he didn't put up a fight. It couldn't be helped. After all, he was the dog that his master had blindly found for him. What else could he do? He could only spoil him. Puppy Daddy Hua, who had no idea that he was being despised by his dog, was still looking forward to the scene of him proposing to Su Yiyan. Suddenly, a bullet screen popped up and successfully made his face turn dark. A married woman is still acting coquettishly on a live streaming platform. Does your husband know that you're such a slut? B*TCH. What a joke. The pure and innocent girl in the entertainment area next door didn't even give as much as the big shot here. Who would believe that she has nothing to do with this big shot? Does your husband know that you're selling your body to make money for the family? A new streamer who's only been streaming for 3 days is now #1 on the donation list. Is this the distortion of human nature or the decay of morality? Anyone who's been in the live streaming area for a long time knows that people who can give out millions of yuan in donations are mostly related to the trade of their bodies. Other streamers wouldn't dare to be so brazen even if they wanted their sponsors to give them money. I don't know if this person is brainless or really fearless. She's so desperate for fame that she doesn't even dare to show her face. She'll be exposed sooner or later. For some reason, a large group of sarcastic keyboard warriors suddenly appeared in the live streaming room. At first, they were just wretchedly fantasizing about the relationship between Su Yiyan and the #1 on the donation list. Later, they began to attack Su Yiyan's appearance. Every time they opened their mouths, they would say, "She must be ugly to not dare to show her face." Their solemn expressions made it seem as if they had all crawled along the screen and seen Su Yiyan with their own eyes. The audience who were watching the live stream couldn't help but frown when they saw these comments. Those who couldn't stand it any longer started to argue with these people on the spot. However, this group of people seemed to be very experienced in defaming someone. No matter how others argued with them, they still refused to let go of Su Yiyan. They swore to pin the bad reputation of being a kept woman on her head and completely strangle her in the cradle. Su Yiyan was busy rummaging through the cabinets to find the Hua buds when the commotion in the live broadcast room started. She did not notice that someone was wantonly smearing her reputation. When Hu Qinhuan saw this, her eyes turned cold and she started scrolling through the screen. Congratulations to the host, Yan Yan, for receiving 10 luxurious and exquisite villas from a loyal viewer, Mountain Yusu. Congratulations to the host, Yan Yan, for receiving 20 luxurious and exquisite villas from a loyal viewer, Mountain Yusu. The more the keyboard warriors who stirred up trouble scolded Su Yiyan, the more he would reward them. All kinds of large-scale special effects began to dance in the live broadcast room, directly blocking the dirty words that dirty people's eyes. No one had expected things to turn out this way. The keyboard warriors who had come looking for trouble were collectively dumbfounded. Normally, when one was being questioned, shouldn't they try their best to explain and make things worse? Or they might as well just walk away to prove their innocence. Why was this person getting more and more arrogant? She didn't play by the rules at all. That wasn't all. Hu Qinhuan noticed that after a few rounds of smashing, the bullet screen suddenly became empty. Su Yiyan also hadn't found anything. She noticed the things on her side and asked in return. "Why did you stop? Continue." Chapter 50. These words were simply a blatant provocation. However, the keyboard warriors who were directly ridiculed by the big boss could not help but feel their scalps go numb. Their purpose in coming to this live broadcast room was, on the one hand, to sow discord between the host and the audience, and on the other hand, to confuse the passers-by who clicked in later. As the saying goes, 3 people make a tiger. They had been here for a long time, and the passers-by who did not know anything would have a bad first impression of the host. Some fans of other hosts might be filled with righteous indignation because of this, unable to accept that their fans were suppressed by this kind of person, and instantly turned against them. They had used this method to defeat countless new hosts, but who would have thought that they would be defeated in such a small live broadcast room? This person did not turn against them, but instead increased the amount of rewards received by the other party by several times. She steadily topped the battle rankings, leaving the other hosts far behind, and took the lead. However, the culprit who caused all this, with just one sentence, made them extremely angry, but they did not dare to act rashly. Everyone who had seen Hu Qinhuan's ruthlessness in throwing money did not doubt the authenticity of his words. Their employer wanted to suppress them, but in the end, after suppressing them for a long time, not only did nothing happen to the other party, but she also soared higher. Whose fault was this? Just like this, the keyboard warriors who were halfway through their attacks were scared off by Hu Chenhuan's words. At this time, Su Yiyan finally returned with a small bouquet of rose buds from Aunt Li. Looking at the conspicuous sentence on the blank screen, she said blankly, "Continue what? What were you guys talking about just now?" Her words seemed to have turned on a certain switch, and the bullet screen in the live broadcast room once again became dense like flowing water. However, this time, everyone's tone was almost the same as Hu Chenhuan's. All kinds of cutesy flattery stacked on top of each other, and it seemed that she, the host, was left out. Su Yiyan. What was going on? She had only left for a while. How did she fall out of favor? Unfortunately, the special effects of the rewards had already passed. Su Yiyan only saw the number of people in the live broadcast room skyrocketing again, but did not see the value of someone on the reward list soaring. Therefore, she missed the best opportunity to discover the truth of someone squandering. "I'm sorry. Because it was an impromptu idea, it took some time to find the materials. Let's get back to the main topic. Next, we are going to make rose motherwort tea. The main ingredients are very simple. There are only two, roses and motherwort. Of course, if you have a sweet taste, you can consider adding some honey. Roses. Flowers can be cooked and eaten? Of course. Roses can not only be used to make tea, but they can also be used to make biscuits. Biscuits with the fragrance of fresh flowers can make people cry just by smelling them, let alone eating them. I'll show it to you next time when I have the chance. Today, we'll make a simple tea. Su Yiyan said as she washed the two items and filtered out the impurities. Then, she put them into the pot and boiled them. Those who watched my live stream yesterday should know that motherwort can improve blood circulation and regulate menstruation. It also has a certain effect on dysmenorrhea. However, it tastes a little bitter, so it doesn't taste good when cooked. It needs to be paired with other ingredients. Chapter 51. The words beautifying and nourishing one hit the soft spot of most girls. In an instant, countless female viewers were clamoring on the bullet screen. They were asking if Su Yiyan's beautifying and nourishing one's skin was real, and if it would be given away for free later. Could they just buy it directly? Su Yiyan couldn't help but laugh. The things I made today will be given away for free later. Since the host is only one person and has limited energy, the items in the live broadcast room are temporarily not available for sale. I hope everyone can understand. As soon as this was said, the viewers were disappointed but also eager to be one of the lucky ones. Seeing that Su Yiyan didn't notice the annoying episode just now, Hu Chenhuan couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. She said in a low voice, "Can't these black accounts that are stirring up trouble everywhere be banned or banned?" Zhua Yanbai was slightly startled. "Are you referring to Miss Su's live broadcast room or the entire website? If it's the entire website, it needs to be handled by the website's technical staff. If you just want them to stay away from Miss Su's live broadcast room, you only need to become the network administrator of Miss Su's live broadcast room. The network administrator has the right to ban them from the live broadcast room. If we don't ban these black bugs who are stirring up trouble everywhere, are we going to let them harass others and condone malicious competition? These little tricks could deceive the naive viewers, but how could they escape Hu Chenhuan's discerning eyes? However, these people had to be banned, and Su Yiyan's live broadcast room's administrator had to be Zhua Yanbai. Hu Chenhuan remembered that Yu Zian had mentioned before that if one wanted to be an administrator of a live broadcast room, they had to get the host's permission. Her eyes flashed, and she immediately gave Yu Zian a call. At that time, Yu Zian had just heard that a large number of fake reviewers had appeared in Su Yian's live streaming room. When he received Hu Chenhuan's call, his first thought was, "It's over." On the first day of the future young madam's live broadcast, young master had asked him to personally keep an eye on her. Who would have thought that there would be a problem on the third day? Was it too late for him to apologize with his life now? Despite his fear, Yuzian still picked up the phone with trepidation. Young master, you don't have to give me dirty tricks for the lucky draw later. Ah. Yuzian was stunned for a while before he reacted. Then, next time. Just this once. All right. Yuzian hurriedly agreed. Do you have any other instructions? Do you know how to deal with the people who were talking about Yen Yen in the live stream? What else could they do? Of course, they could only seal it. I know. I'll get the technicians to deal with it. We won't let any fish escape the net. For the sake of his own safety, he would have all the technicians work overtime tonight. The technician. Who did we offend? Hua Qinhuan was satisfied with Yuzian's cooperation and did not pursue the matter further. At this time, Su Yiyen's soup and tea were almost ready. After the rose motherwort tea was boiled over high heat, the fire was turned off, and the pot was covered for 5 minutes. The moment the lid was opened, the rich fragrance of roses rushed out and engulfed the entire live broadcast room in no time. Many viewers who were paying attention to the pot of tea were jolted awake, and their sleepiness disappeared. Chapter 52. Many people couldn't help but laugh when they saw this, including Su Yiyen. Tea brewed from roses, if it wasn't the aroma of roses, could it be something else? Su Yiyen carefully poured the tea from the pot into a large bowl, then took out 3 transparent glass bottles and poured the tea from the bowl into them one by one. Inside the transparent glass bottles, the clear, light-colored tea swayed slightly, bringing out the faint fragrance of roses, which instantly captured the hearts of most of the girls. The amount of motherwort in this tea is quite heavy, so it's best to drink it for people who are about to have their menstrual period and whose blood and qi are stagnant, so the effect is better. This way, not only can it reduce the pain of menstrual period, but it can also expel some unnecessary dirty things from the body. Also, take note that it's not suitable for women who are already having menstrual periods or pregnant to drink this. When Su Yiyen said this, some people were happy, while others were sad. However, after knowing the use of this tea, more people became interested in the other soup. Su Yiyen didn't let them wait too long. After pouring the rose tea, she lifted the lid of the casserole beside her. The pork bones and seahorses that had been simmering for more than an hour were already quite tasty. The moment the lid of the casserole was lifted, the unique fragrance of dried seafood and the fragrance of the pork bone marrow mixed together in the soup, making people salivate. Oh, this soup smells so good. It smells even better than the pork bone soup in the special restaurant next door. With this smell, I can drink 2 bottles of nutrient solution. I'm crying because I only have nutrient solution to drink. Ordinary pork bones cost 1,000 yuan, and the processed ones in the restaurant cost 3 or 4 times more. It's equivalent to a month's salary for an ordinary person, not to mention the dried soup. However, none of the ones I've smelled before are as fragrant as this one. I'm begging for God's favor and let me try it when I win a prize. Many people had this idea. Not to mention the effects of this thing, just the ingredients and the soup were enough to make them yearn for it day and night. After Su Yiyen finished seasoning the soup, she looked up and saw the screen full of people asking to win a prize. After being stunned for a moment, he couldn't help but laugh. I've said before that this is a soup that can improve a man's hidden illness. The seahorse in it can nourish the kidney and strengthen the yang, reduce inflammation and relieve pain. The bone marrow in the pig dragon bone can nourish the kidney and replenish the essence. When the two are stewed together, cough cough, it has a very good aphrodisiac effect. 4. For premature ejaculation patients, it has an unexpected effect. Su Yiyen was still an unmarried maiden in both her lives, so she was a little embarrassed to talk about this. However, most people did not notice her slight awkwardness. Instead, they focused on the effect of the soup. As soon as Su Yiyan finished speaking, she realized that the number of comments in the live stream had decreased by more than half. She was shocked and immediately looked at the number of viewers in the upper right corner. Not only did the number of viewers not decrease, but it was also increasing rapidly. So, these people were all stunned by his bold and explicit words. After about 10 seconds, Su Yiyan saw a message appear on the screen. Aphrodisiac. Early ejaculation. Hee, I'm still young and full of energy. I don't need that. Yes, we're fine. 7 times a night is not a problem. We don't need this stuff. Chapter 53. Su Yiyan's face turned red from his own explicit thoughts. He coughed lightly, barely suppressing the heat on his face, and said with a smile, "Since most people don't need it, let's give it to those who need it. Next, let's draw a prize. 3 lucky viewers will each get the seahorse keel soup and rose motherwort tea, and 1 lucky viewer will get the carving of flowers." The 3 prizes were drawn separately. First, the flower tea and carving products were drawn, and the seahorse keel soup was drawn last. The first 2 prizes were not bad. The winner successfully attracted a group of jealous people's verbal attacks. 1 or 2 of the more arrogant ones even showed off on the bullet screen. Of course, they were besieged. When the last prize was drawn, 2 familiar IDs appeared among the 3 people. Congratulations to the IDs, Big, Golden Gun I Won't Fall, the most handsome guy in the universe, for winning a portion of seahorse keel soup. Please check. Su Yiyan found the first 2 IDs a little familiar after reading them. He thought for a while and remembered them. Weren't these 2 the 2 fierce men who said they were young and could do it 7 times in one night? Su Yiyan was not the only one who noticed this. The masses with sharp eyes also noticed. When these people saw the 2 IDs, their first thought was, F***ck, trash dog men. Their mouths said they didn't want it, but their bodies were very honest. Some people who also needed it but didn't get it directly mocked the 2 in the bullet screen. Didn't they say they didn't want it? Hurry up and give it up. The 2 of them. The 2 of them were excited and secretly sent their addresses to Su Yiyan. Then, faced with the ridicule on the screen, they refused to respond and vowed to play dead until the end. Su Yiyan roughly understood what was going on after seeing the ridicule on the 2 people on the screen. He held back his laughter and said, "To the few lucky viewers who have just drawn, please send me your addresses as soon as possible. I will immediately send out the prizes." Today's live broadcast will end here. Thank you for your support. See you tomorrow. After Su Yiyan finished speaking, he took one last look at the number of viewers in the upper right corner of the live broadcast room, which had already exceeded 6 digits. He then happily closed the live broadcast room. Hua Qinhuan, on the other hand, stared at the list of winners and said gloomily, "Didn't you say that we can only pick female characters? What's going on with these people in the last round?" When Yu Zian received another call from Hua Qinhuan, he was also a little confused. He hurriedly flipped through the information of the winning IDs and broke down. "Young master, these are indeed female accounts. Female role. At least when they registered their accounts, they chose to be female." Hua Qinhuan. She had forgotten about that. Also, I just looked through the backend data for the lucky draw and found that most of the participants were male accounts. In other words, it was because they had set Su Yiyan's livestream beforehand that only female accounts could be selected. That was why they were able to pick up a few female accounts from a large number of male accounts, allowing them to pick up such a huge advantage. Hua Qinhuan. What a miscalculation. Yu Zian also felt that this matter was quite dramatic. Who would have thought that a man would specially register a female account to participate in the lucky draw? With these few IDs, it was obvious that he was not a decent man. So, you really can't blame me for this. Hua Chenhuan was already gloomy. When she heard this, she was like a barrel of gunpowder that had been ignited. If I don't blame you, then should I blame myself? After she finished speaking, she did not wait for Yu Xian's response and directly hung up the phone. Chapter 54. After Su Yiyan ended the live broadcast and gave away the items, she went out with her brother, who was already waiting outside. As soon as he got into the car, he received a private message from the chief boss of the live streaming room. Mountain the Future, you there? Yan, yes, little brother. Goodly. JPG, Hua Chenhuan narrowed her eyes as she stared at the words, little brother, on her phone screen. Her expression was dangerous, and her chest felt stifled. His fiancé actually called someone else little brother. Although the person being called was him, he still felt that something was not right. In her anger, Hua Chenhuan typed a reply that even she did not expect. Mountain the Future, I'm a girl. Pfft. Su Yiyan almost jumped up when he heard this. At the same time, his heart started to waver. Could it be that he had recognized the wrong person? No, it was impossible. She would never mistake him for anyone else. Then there was only one explanation. He was deliberately confusing him. Su Yiyan raised her eyebrows and clicked on the other party's blank profile picture to look at the gender of the account. Yan, so it's Miss. I'm sorry, when I saw your gender, I thought you were a man. Sweat Yan, is there anything I can help you with? Hua Chenhuan regretted it as soon as she sent it out, but it was too late. She could only comfort herself. So be it. That way, it would be more beneficial for her to wear her little vest. Mulberry the Mountain, I spent a lot of money on the live stream today. Su Yiyan thought to herself, of course I know you spent a lot of money today. If it wasn't for your mysterious look of not wanting me to expose your identity, I would have grabbed you and scolded you for being a wastrel. Mountain without the 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 mountain yen. Mulberry the Mountain, as compensation, can I make a request? Make a request. Su Yiyan's heart was alarmed. Could it be that this guy wanted to use the unspoken rules against him? A rich big boss throwing millions of gold to support a delicate little streamer. If it had been someone else, Su Yiyan would have definitely smashed that person's head. But if it was Hua Chenhuan, it didn't seem so. Cough cough. Yen, what request? After Su Yiyan sent the message, she began to stare at the phone screen nervously. She wished she could stare a hole in it. A few seconds later, the other party replied, but the content disappointed her greatly. Mountain without the 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 mountain. Why did she feel an inexplicable sense of loss? Su Yiyan picked up her moral integrity that had fallen all over the floor and pretended that nothing had happened. She replied in all seriousness, okay, little sister. I'll change your status when we get back. Su Yuxuan, who was sitting next to Su Yiyan, saw his sister holding her phone and giggling from time to time as soon as she got into the car. After hesitating for a moment, she couldn't help but ask, who are you texting? My fiancé. Hua Chenhuan. Su Yuxuan raised his eyebrows slightly. Then why did I see you calling him little sister? Su Yiyan was so frightened that she covered her phone screen with her hand. She looked at her brother as if he was a pervert who was spying on other people's privacy. Su Yuxuan. No, I'm not. Listen to me. After doing this, Su Yiyan seemed to realize that she had overreacted. Cough, we're cosplaying. It's cosplay. Chapter 55. Su Yiyen heard her brother's unspoken words, but her heart did not waver. She even felt like laughing. Wasn't that right? He could have raised conditions with her openly, but he still had to beat around the bush. In the end, he even tricked himself into becoming a transvestite. However, Su Yiyen did not want Hu Chenhuan to be at a disadvantage verbally. She immediately said, "This is the fun between couples." "Brother, you don't understand." The translation of her words was, "This is the fun between us couples. How would a single dog like you understand?" Su Yuxuan instantly suffered a critical hit of 100,000 points, and his entire person became weak. It was all that damn Hu Chenhuan's fault. His sister used to be so soft and cute. Although she was still soft and cute now, she would show off her affection in front of him and speak up for the bastard outside. His heart was bitter. Su Yuxuan silently cursed Hu Chenhuan countless times in his heart, but in front of his sister, he still acted like a worried old mother. "You really don't need me to go with you. Really, no need. Brother, I'm not a child anymore." Su Yuxuan seemed to have been drained of all her energy, and she miserably became dispirited. "Then follow Xing and don't run around. If anyone in the company dares to give you a hard time, don't be courteous to them. If anything happens, I'll take care of it for you." Su Yiyen's heart warmed, and she obediently replied, "Got it." After the driver sent Su Yuxuan to the company, he drove Su Yiyen to Dongqing Entertainment, which was established by the Su family. When Su Yiyen arrived, Xia Junxing had been waiting at the company entrance for a long time. "Missy. Brother Junxing, just call me Yiyen. I didn't come to the company for work today. I just wanted to take a breather and walk around." Xia Junxing was Su Yuxuan's most trusted person, and he was also his classmate in university. After her death in her previous life, the family's company suffered a series of blows, and many people left one after another. Only the person in front of him stood firmly behind his brother, never having any thoughts of leaving or betraying him. Su Yuxuan regarded him as a brother. As Su Yuxuan's younger sister, it wasn't a loss for her to call him brother. Xia Junxing's eyes flashed slightly, and the gaze he used to look at Su Yiyen also softened a bit. "Okay, then I'll take you to the office for a walk first." "Forget about the office. I want to see what the artists who haven't debuted or are about to debut in the company usually do." Although Xia Junxing was a little surprised by Su Yiyen's request, he didn't say anything. He nodded and led Su Yiyen to the floor where the trainees were. Although this company was her family's business, this was Su Yiyen's first time visiting this company. In her previous life, Su Yuxuan had indeed asked her if she was interested in the entertainment industry and wanted to transfer the company to her. But at that time, she wasn't interested in it, so she didn't agree. She didn't expect that half a year later, Hu Xiaofeng would suddenly bring Wen Jingping to her, point at her nose, and scold her for being vicious and narrow-minded. Su Yiyen was stunned by the scolding and almost exploded in anger. Even until her death, she couldn't figure out why these two weirdos suddenly went crazy. It wasn't until Su Yiyen read the so-called original novel that she finally understood. At that time, because the variety show organized by her company did not allow Wen Jingping to debut directly, those two guys with strange brain circuits thought that she hated Wen Jingping for stealing her love and did not allow her to debut. Chapter 56. As soon as Su Yiyen stepped out of the elevator, she heard a melodious voice. She walked in the direction of the voice and saw more than 10 young and beautiful girls in the practice room. A female teacher in her early 40s was sitting in front of the piano. She played a piece of music from time to time and stopped to talk to the girls. It seemed like she was teaching these future young female artists how to sing. In the face of the female teacher's energetic lecture, the students' reactions were different. Some were lazy, some were focused, some were in high spirits, and some were exhausted. What are the names of the two girls in yellow and blue over there? Xia Junxing frowned slightly and saw a staff member standing not far away. He quickly raised his hand to call him over. He pointed at the two girls Su Yiyan had just asked and asked, "Do you know those two girls?" "I know them. The girl in yellow is called Jing Qiuying and the girl in blue is called Huang Zidong. They are trainees that our company is preparing to train to debut soon." Trainees that are preparing to debut soon. Su Yiyan raised her eyebrows. Have they participated in any variety shows recently? The staff member subconsciously glanced at Xia Junxing. When he saw that he did not say anything, he said, "Yes, they came in to prepare for the recording of Superstar tomorrow." Su Yiyan's eyes flashed with understanding. "Okay, thank you." After Su Yiyan finished speaking, she took one last look at the two girls and left quietly. Xia Junxing followed behind her and asked in a low voice, "Yiyan, do you think there's something wrong with those two trainees?" "No, I just think they might have the potential to be popular." Potential to be popular. Xia Junxing's interest was piqued. "How can you tell? Do you think they're good-looking?" Appearance is naturally one of the reasons. But in the entertainment industry, is there a shortage of good-looking people? Then, you saw the situation just now. There were so many people, but there weren't many who were listening seriously. There weren't many, but there were many who were more serious than them. Why did you take a fancy to them? There are indeed a few others who are serious, but compared to them, those few are more spirited. This means that their daily training intensity is not as high as those two. To be able to remain clear-headed under high-intensity training, treat every class seriously, and learn any skills that may be useful in the future. This meant that they were very clear about what they wanted and had the energy and perseverance to get what they wanted. Opportunities are only given to those who are prepared. Xia Junxing smiled and agreed, "You're right." Su Yiyan paused and turned to look at him with a faint smile. "So, I will inform the publicity department to increase the packaging and publicity for the two of them." "Thank you, Brother Junxing. The two of them will be my first investment in East City. It's a good opportunity to test if I have the ability to recognize pearls in this aspect." Although Xia Junxing felt that it was a bit hasty to decide the future of the two girls like this, Dongqing City was the property of the Su family, and the Su family had the absolute right to speak. Moreover, Su Yiyan did not do anything bad that would harm the company, so he let her be. After visiting the female artists, Su Yiyan also prepared to check on the male artists. Chapter 57. Who's the girl who just walked over with Director Xia? Why haven't I seen her before? Could she be a new female artist in our company? You think too much. Is a new female artist qualified to be received by Mr. Xia personally? That's hard to say. Maybe she's a young lady from a rich family who has nothing to do and wants to enter the entertainment industry. It's not like there hasn't been such a precedent. Ning Qiruei had just walked into the company when he heard the discussion of several young girls at the front desk. He frowned slightly, but did not say anything and followed his agent upstairs. But some things in this world were so coincidental. They had just walked out of the elevator when they bumped into the main character of the young girls' discussion. Mr. Xia. Ning Qiruei's agent recognized his immediate boss almost at a glance and took the lead to greet him. Xia Junxing nodded and asked in a businesslike manner, "Have you finished the Shi family's endorsement?" "Yes, I just finished." Ning Qiruei seemed to be quite familiar with Xia Junxing and spoke very casually. "This is. She's my friend's little sister. She wants to come to our company for an internship, so she asked me to bring her over to have a look." "Yayan, this is Ning Qiruei, the the popular young star that our company has been promoting recently." When Xia Junqing said this, he gave Su Yiyan a subtle wink, as if asking her if the person in front of her, who they had been promoting, also had the potential to be popular. Su Yiyan's mouth twitched slightly. She thought that he did have the potential to be popular, but he also had the potential to be a ticking time bomb. If this ticking time bomb problem was not handled properly, not only would the company's long-term resources be wasted, but they might also get into trouble. Yain. Before Su Yiyan could say anything, Ning Qiruwei said something shocking first. "The young lady of the Su family, Su Yiyan." "Qiruwei, you know Yain." Ning Qiruwei chuckled and said somewhat sarcastically, "After all, it's a management company where I have to stay for a few years. If I don't even know my employer's family situation in advance before signing a contract, then I would be too naive and sweet." Su Yiyan thought to herself, "Aren't you a sweet, silly girl?" In his previous life, he had been fooled by that woman. Not only had he sacrificed himself, but he had also sacrificed both his family clans. What right did he have to ridicule her? Calling you silly and sweet is an insult to the word silly and sweet, okay? Logically speaking, Su Yiyan and Ning Qiruwei had no interactions in this life. The two of them had not even met before, so why would Ning Qiruwei be so hostile to her? The only possibility was that Ning Qiruwei and Wen Jingping had crossed paths again and had been brainwashed by Wen Jingping to become her loyal fan. That's right, whether it was in the original novel or the previous life, Ning Qiruwei was Wen Jingping's loyal bootlicker. He was also one of the backups who were infatuated with Wen Jingping. On the surface, he was just a popular male artist, but in fact, he was the most favored young master of both the Ning and Qi families. This young master had a good impression of the female lead, Wen Jingping, because of her pure, kind, and unpretentious. Not only did his feelings come inexplicably, but before he died of a serious illness half a year later, the one he could not let go of the most was not his family and friends, but Wen Jingping, whom he had only known for a few months. He even asked his family to take good care of Wen Jingping after his death. Chapter 58. The funny thing was that after several dangerous catastrophes, the two protagonists were fine, but the Ning and Qi families were all bruised and battered. In the end, they were swallowed up by Hu Xiaofeng, a despicable villain. It was really a classic example of biting the hand that fed you. Su Yiyan did not have a good impression of Ning Qiruwei, a simp who had led a wolf into the house and harmed his family. But since she was determined to snatch the heroine halo from Wen Jingping and change her own fate, she could not let the Ning and Qi families help Wen Jingping like in her previous life. The intersection between the two was inevitable, so she could only start with Ning Qiruwei's illness. The original book did not mention what illness Ning Qiruwei had, and the Ning and Qi families were also secretive about it. They only knew that it was a sudden emergency and rapidly worsened in a few months. However, Su Yiyan, who had activated an important auxiliary skill at this moment, saw that Ning Qiruwei's kidney had begun to send out warning signs at a glance. Xia Junqing was not a fool. The sarcasm in Ning Qiruwei's words was so obvious that it made him think that the two had some personal grudges. Just as he was about to say something to ease the atmosphere, he heard Su Yiyan say faintly, "You often feel very weak recently, and your waist often hurts. You even occasionally have symptoms of oliguria and oliguria." Ning Qiruwei's face changed slightly. Yes or no?" Ning Qiruwei choked and said angrily, "It's none of your business." Ning Qiruwei's reaction just confirmed Su Yiyan's guess. She sighed deeply and patted Ning Qiruwei's shoulder very earnestly. She whispered, "Young man, think more and don't get angry. If you have kidney problems at such a young age, what will you do in the future?" Ning Qiruwei's agent and Xia Junqing were speechless. They seemed to have found out a big secret. If Ning Qiruwei's kidney was not good, then, Ning Qiruo was stunned for a few seconds before he realized what Su Yiyan meant. Instantly, he was like a cat whose tail had been stepped on, and his hair stood on end. He slapped Su Yiyan's hand away and roared, "What nonsense are you talking about? Whether I'm talking nonsense or not, won't you know if you go to the hospital for a checkup?" Su Yiyan looked at the person in front of him with a subtle sense of sarcasm and scrutiny. "I can tell you with certainty that if your illness is not treated as soon as possible, there will be many complications soon. First of all, your kidney function will begin to show abnormalities, and oliguria is likely to progress to hematuria. If you discover it early and treat it early, you might still have a chance to live. Your own life depends entirely on you. If you don't value it, then no one can save you." After Su Yiyan finished speaking, she abandoned Ning Qiruo, who was already dumbfounded, and quickly left. Xia Junqing was stunned for a few seconds. He looked at Ning Qiruo with a complicated expression. In the end, he did not say anything and chased after Su Yiyan. "Qiruo." As soon as the manager saw the two of them leave, he immediately went up to Ning Qiruo and looked at him worriedly. He wanted to say something but was worried about hurting his self-esteem. After deliberating for a while, he said, "What Miss Su said just now, it's fake, it must be fake." Before the manager could finish speaking, Ning Qiruo interrupted him sharply. "She must be lying to me. A despicable person like her can even make a false accusation about stealing someone's boyfriend. It can be seen that she is full of lies and can't be trusted. What she said just now was just to scare me. Yes, it must be just to scare me." Chapter 59. Xia Junqing caught up with Su Yiyan and asked tentatively, "Do you have a grudge against Ning Qiruo?" "No." Xia Junqing did not believe her. "Then what happened between us just now?" "I don't deny that he may have misunderstood me, but it was indeed the first time we met." Su Yiyan's words sounded simple, but there was a lot of meaning behind them. Who would be hostile to a stranger they met for the first time for no reason? Especially if the other party knew her name and family background. Since Su Yiyan did not have a grudge against him, someone must have said something to him. Xia Junqing's eyes were slightly cold, but he knew what to do next. Su Yiyan glanced at Xia Junqing and reminded him, "Brother Junqing, you are more familiar with the domestic upper-class circle than I am. Don't you think of anything else about the two words Ning and Qi?" "Ning and Qi." Xia Junqing pondered for a moment and suddenly seemed to understand something. His face changed greatly. "You mean, you'd better take precautions in advance." "Precautions?" Xia Junqing was stunned for a few seconds before saying, "Is what you just said true?" "He really?" Su Yiyan looked at him with a faint smile. She did not say yes or no. Xia Junqing felt more and more uncertain. "You? How did you know? What if I said that I saw it with my eyes?" "You saw it with your eyes?" Xia Junqing looked suspicious. It was not that he did not take a closer look at Ning Qiruo's face just now. His complexion was ruddy, and he was in high spirits. There were no dark circles under his eyes. How did Su Yiyan see that he was sick? "Then how about you take a look at my body? Will I have some kind of hidden disease that can't be seen on the surface like Ning Qiruo?" Su Yiyan took a step back and looked Xia Junqing up and down. She smiled faintly and said, "You are very healthy, but your liver is hot. Don't always stay up late. Also, smoke less in the future. Don't smoke if you can." When Xia Junqing was nervous or stressed, he would smoke a little. He didn't smoke a lot and wasn't addicted. However, whenever he encountered an urgent project or a more troublesome matter, he would continuously smoke several sticks at a time. Very few people knew about this. Su Yuxuan was one of them. Hearing Su Yiyan's words, Xia Junqing's first reaction was, could it be that Su Yuxuan had told her? But would most people tell their little sister about their friend's habits in such detail? The topic ended there and did not continue. Su Yiyan knew that Xia Junqing did not believe her words very much. He might even see it as a small way for her to retaliate against Ning Qiruei. But even if he did not fully believe it, he already had doubts in his heart. Coupled with Ning Qiruei's identity, as long as one was a normal person, it was impossible not to be cautious. The Ning and Qi families would help Wen Jingping and Ning Qiruei regardless of the consequences. On the one hand, it was because of the existence of the protagonist's halo. The plot was irreversible. On the other hand, how could there not be a factor of empathy? After all, the words of the dead and the words of the living were different. If Ning Qiruei was alive, would his family still allow him to help other people's women so willfully and stand up for other people's women? What's more, when Ning Qiruei saw Wen Jingping's true colors and knew that she was willing to give up everything for other men and even hurt his family because of it, would he still continue to be her bootlicker? Chapter 60. Young Jinyu was the boss of a listed company. He was not even 30 years old this year, but he was already worth hundreds of millions. For him to have such achievements, his family background was one thing, but his own ability was also not to be underestimated. Unfortunately, compared to his work ability, the people outside were obviously more concerned about his endless love affairs. That's right, this big boss was not even 30 years old, but the number of girlfriends he had was enough to circle his company building. Although most of them parted on good terms, it didn't prevent the upper class from using this playboy's romantic affairs as a topic of conversation after a meal. However, recently, this young Master Yang also encountered a problem that made him very distressed. "Boss Yang, your takeout is here." The female secretary knocked on the door of the boss's office with a well-packed insulated box. Then, she heard the sound of running noises coming from inside. A hand reached out from behind the slightly open door and snatched the insulated box from her hand. The door slammed shut again, and the boss shouted with some excitement, "Don't let anyone come near my office for half an hour." Young Jinyu sat in front of the table and stared at the insulated box in front of him expectantly and nervously. After a while, he finally made up his mind. He untied the bag outside the box and opened the insulated box. The familiar smell that he had smelled in the live broadcast room came to his nose. Young Jinyo's whole body shook, and he couldn't wait to pick up the spoon and drink it. Considering that the seahorses raised in his fish pond were several times stronger than ordinary seahorses, Su Yiyan deliberately added a lot of water. The bowl of soup in Young Jinyo's hand was not only full, but he was also very lucky to get one of the two seahorses in the pot, one male and one female. After drinking a few mouthfuls of soup, Young Jinyu tried to take a bite of the dried seahorse. He found that the seahorse didn't have the fishy smell of ordinary dried goods. Instead, it was very delicious and chewy. By the time he reacted, the whole bowl of soup had been drunk by him, and not even the bones were left. Burp. Young Jinyu burped contentedly. He didn't know if it was his illusion or not. After drinking the soup, he felt that the cold that had been entangled in his body for the past few days had dissipated a lot. His whole body was warm and very comfortable. I don't know if this soup is really effective. Why don't he try it out with his new girlfriend tonight? However, his previous girlfriend broke up with him because of his problems in that area. She even threatened him to extort a large sum of money from him. What if his current girlfriend also? Just as young Jinyu was hesitating, there was a sudden noise outside the door. Young Master Ning, please wait. Our boss really can't meet any guests right now. Please don't make things difficult for us. Sigh, young Master Ning. Young Jinyu's face changed slightly. He stood up in fright and hurriedly packed up the things on the table. When Ning Chirui barged in, he had just stuffed the insulated box into his desk drawer. When he looked up, he saw his friend's dark face. The expression on Yang Jinyo's face was slightly stiff, and he inexplicably felt guilty. "Chirue, why are you here?" Ning Chirue frowned slightly and sniffed. "What's the smell in your office?" "Taste?" Only then did Yang Jinyu remember that the taste of dry soup was the most overbearing. He had just drunk a big bowl and was already used to the taste. Chapter 61. The expression on Yang Jinyo's face became more and more stiff. "I ordered a meal from a special hotel at noon. I just finished it not long ago, so it may still taste good." "Food? Don't you take nutrient solutions when you work? Why are you suddenly in the mood to eat alone?" "To improve my diet." Yang Jinyu paused and seemed to think that this reason was not very good, so he quickly added, "To celebrate my 99th girlfriend." As soon as Yang Jinyu said this, he immediately received a disdainful look from Ning Chirue. "Scumbag! Scumbag!" Yang Jinyu was unhappy when he heard this title. "Little brother, only a scumbag can be called a scumbag. I always finish what I started and part on good terms. This is not a scumbag. At most, it's called a romantic. Learn from me." Ning Chirue rolled his eyes and snorted at his argument. Seeing him like this, Yang Jinyo's eyes turned slightly, and he took the opportunity to change the topic. "Speaking of this, don't tell me you ran into a wall in front of your future girlfriend, so you came here to vent your anger on me in exasperation." Yang Jinyu seemed to have thought of something when he said this. He frowned slightly and said slightly seriously, "I'm telling you as an experienced person that the girl you like is not a pure little white rabbit. If you don't handle it well, she may swallow you whole. It's better to withdraw before you have any substantial relationship with her." If it were any other time, Ning Chirue would have exploded on the spot when he heard Yang Jinyu talk about his sweetheart like this. But at this time, he was depressed by Su Yiyen's words and did not react for a while. "It's not her. I met a particularly annoying guy today." "Oh." Yang Jinyu raised his eyebrows and became interested. "Who dares to make young Master Ning unhappy? Does she want to die?" "It's an evil woman. When we met, she said that I was sick." Pfft. Yang Jinyu burst out laughing on the spot. "Sick? What disease?" "She said that I had a kidney problem." "Kidney?" Ning Chirue's face suddenly turned red. "Isn't it? How can there be a kidney problem? I'm not like you, who changes girlfriends every few weeks. You're more likely to have kidney problems." "How can I?" "Hey, how can you say that?" Yang Jinyu felt as if he had been pricked by a needle. He stood up and glared at Ning Chirue with indignation. "I'm just giving an example. Why are you so agitated? Of all the examples, why did you have to use this one? If it were you, would you be happy if others said that you have kidney deficiency? I only said that there's something wrong with the kidneys. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's something wrong with the kidneys." Yang Jinyu choked. The atmosphere in the room was a little subtle for a while. In the end, Yang Jinyu took the initiative to break the silence. "It sounds like that woman is really too much." Ning Chirue also seemed to have woken up from a dream and echoed, "Isn't that so? Not only did she say that there was something wrong with my kidney, but she also said that if I didn't get treatment soon, my life would be in danger. Do you think this is something a human would say?" Yang Jinyo's face changed when he heard this. He pondered for a moment and said seriously, "Since she said so, you should check it." Ning Chirue's eyes narrowed. "Why are you also? It's better to believe it than not. You can't be careless about things related to your body." What if? Ning Chiroe was stumped by his question. What if? Who could guarantee that there would not be a what if? What if it was true? Then wouldn't he? Chapter 62. Su Yiyen strolled around her own entertainment company. After getting a general understanding of the company's current operations, she was ready to go back. Unexpectedly, just as she followed Xia Junxing to the company's entrance, the person beside her received a call. What? Asking for a person to be replaced by someone. Who is it? Wen Jingping. Is she an artist in our company? If not, then replace her. Anyway, it's just the beginning. It shouldn't be a big problem to have one less person. Wait. Su Yiyen finally couldn't help but interrupt the conversation between Xia Junxing and the person on the other end of the phone. Xia Junxing was stunned and turned to look at her in confusion. What's wrong? Someone wants to replace Wen Jingping. Who is it? This. Xia Junxing hesitated for a moment, but still repeated Su Yiyen's question to the person on the other end of the phone. At first, the person was not very willing to reveal it, but later, he couldn't escape and said frankly, it's the vice president. He said it's the family Hua's idea. Family Hua. Su Yiyen was surprised. Hua Xiaofeng and Wen Jingping were in their honeymoon period. They couldn't wait to support her, so they definitely wouldn't let anyone replace her. Hua Xiaofeng's parents also didn't seem like people who would care about such a small matter. The only explanation was, thinking that someone didn't say anything, but secretly stood up for her, Su Yiyen couldn't help but smile crazily. I understand. I'll tell him. Don't touch her for the time being. After saying that, Su Yiyen was worried that Xia Junxing and the people in the company would misunderstand, so she added, don't replace her, but don't pay too much attention to her. Just take care of our people. Xia Junxing wasn't stupid. Su Yiyen's words had already expressed her attitude. They didn't need to make things difficult for that woman named Wen Jingping, but they also couldn't make things easy for her. Where they went and how far they could go had nothing to do with them. Su Yiyen didn't make things difficult for Xia Junxing and the vice president of the company. On the way home, she video called Hua Chenhuan. When the video call connected, Hua Chenhuan was busy coaxing Dun Dun to eat. That's right, coaxing it to eat. This corgi cub symbolized the crystallization of love between the two of them. Ever since it entered the family Hua, it had enjoyed unprecedented royal treatment. Not only did it have its own luxurious villa, but it also had its own independent wardrobe and bathroom. The most important thing was that Hua Chenhuan never let anyone else do anything related to it. It dutifully served as the poop picker for its fiancé's pet. This made Yu Zian and the others suspect that their young master was really raising that fat dog as his daughter. Dun Dun. Who are you calling fat? As soon as the video call connected, Su Yiyen saw the enlarged dog face of her cub. The round black grape-like eyes looked as if it had found a backer when it saw its owner. It was full of resentment and whined as if it had suffered a great grievance. Su Yiyen was confused. She didn't understand what was going on. What's going on? Is it throwing a tantrum? It's throwing a tantrum. It won't eat. Why is it suddenly throwing a tantrum? Does it miss me? Chapter 63. As if hearing the word ligation again, Dun Dun rewarded Hua Chenhuan with its invisible claws on the spot. Then, it turned around and sat on the ground with its meaty back facing Su Yiyen. For its master, it could even bear to go bald, but ligation was definitely not tolerated. Su Yiyen was stunned for a while before realizing that his dog was indeed at this age, but ligation. Su Yiyen held back his laughter and said, our family's Dun Dun is already betrothed to a child. If you ask it to be legated, it definitely won't be happy. Dun Dun might have heard Su Yiyen's words, and its meaty little body moved slightly. It was obviously very curious about this topic, but it pretended as if nothing had happened. It thought that no one else had noticed. Child betrothed. Yes, my friend's dog is also a corgi. It's a few days younger than Dun Dun, and the two of them can be considered childhood sweethearts. Hua Qinhuan was a little stimulated by the words, childhood sweethearts. Dun Dun and the other person's dog were childhood sweethearts. Would Su Yiyen and him, friend, a man? Su Yiyen saw through Hua Qinhuan's subtle jealousy hidden behind the question. His eyebrows curved slightly, and he smiled faintly. Female, she's my best friend. She should be back in the country in 2 days, and she'll be my bridesmaid for our wedding next month. Upon hearing that it was Su Yiyen's best friend, Hua Qinhuan's vigilance instantly disappeared. Then when will she be back? This dog is now. Should be in 2 days. When she comes back, I'll introduce you to each other. As for Dun Dun. Su Yiyen's face revealed a meaningful smile. In 2 days, if it can't wait and dares to cause trouble, take it to be legated. When the time comes, let's see if your beautiful little fiancé still wants you. Dun Dun. Sure enough, with a stepfather comes a stepmother. Am I no longer your precious little cutie? How can you treat me like this? When Hua Qinhuan heard Su Yiyen's words, the expression on his face froze, and he said hoarsely, then what about my beautiful little fiancé? Will you not want me to? Su Yiyen was slightly startled, and only then did he remember Hua Qinhuan. I left Zai with you, do you think I won't want you? Only then did Hua Qinhuan's expression improve. He picked up little Corgi, who was still throwing a tantrum with him, and said to Su Yiyen, I'll bring it to you tomorrow. Su Yiyen's eyes slightly brightened, and he nodded hurriedly. That person, you? Is. Hua Qinhuan had planned to quietly deal with that woman, but he did not expect Su Yiyen to coincidentally bump into her. It's me, Hua Qinhuan admitted straightforwardly, I'm sorry. I made the decision without asking for your opinion. You don't need to apologize. You're my fiancé and my future husband. You have the right to make decisions for me. Actually, I was quite happy when I found out about this. Hua Qinhuan subconsciously clenched his fists, and his gaze on Su Yiyen became more passionate. Chapter 64. As a reincarnated person who had died once, no one understood Wen Jingping's evilness better than her. In her previous life, Wen Jingping hadn't even made it to the end of the variety show. Now, she had suddenly interfered and asked her to withdraw. With her female lead halo, the plot might be completed automatically. If she were to do something else, it wouldn't be worth it. Hua Qinhuan was silent for a moment when she heard her words. She asked hesitantly, do you still mind what happened to them? Of course I mind. Su Yiyen said without thinking. Although I don't have a good impression of Hua Xiaofeng and his family, and you could even say that I hate them, that doesn't mean that they can bully me and my family like this. When Su Yiyen said this, her face revealed a rare trace of hostility. Even a clay figurine has a temper. If they had told our family in private back then, it would have been fine. Let's part on good terms. From now on, we'll go our separate ways and have nothing to do with each other. But they're good. It's as if our family forced him to go through with this marriage. It's as if we're trying to break up an affectionate couple. I'm not a pushover. I won't be angry even if I let them bully me. Sooner or later, I'll make them pay the price. None of them will be able to escape. Dun Dun, who was in Hua Qinhuan's arms, seemed to resonate with its master's emotions. It barked a few times excitedly. When Hu Qinhuan heard that Su Yiyan didn't have any extra feelings for Hu Xiaofeng, she relaxed a lot. I'll help you. Su Yiyan smiled. If you don't help me, who else can you help? But now's not the time. I'm worried. Hu Qinhuan saw the undisguised dependence and trust on Su Yiyan's face. She didn't have time to think before she spoke. What are you worried about? I'm worried that once she becomes a public figure, the ugly thing she did will be dug up. When that happens, you and your family will once again become the topic of gossip. So it was because of this. Su Yiyan immediately understood Hu Qinhuan's intentions, and her heart trembled. You don't have to worry about that. If the people who did wrong aren't afraid, why should a victim like me be afraid? Oh no, at that time, I won't be considered a victim. Maybe when someone comes to dance in front of me, I can thank him for not marrying me and become his aunt. Su Yiyan's eyes were shining when he said this. It was obvious that he was very satisfied with this outcome. But 1 month is so long. Hu Qinhuan's fingertips stiffened. In fact, Su Yiyan was not the only one who was impatient. If it was possible, he also hoped to write this person in front of him into his household register as soon as possible and enclose her in his private territory forever. Tomorrow, I'll look for you tomorrow. As soon as Hu Qinhuan finished speaking, Corgi, who was in her arms, began to struggle frantically to show his existence. Seeing this, Hu Qinhuan tactfully added, "Bring it along." Su Yiyan held back her laughter and nodded. Okay, is there anything you want to eat? I'll make it for you tomorrow. Hu Qinhuan's heart moved slightly. As long as it's made by you, I'll like it. Su Yiyan. What was the difference between following and following? Chapter 65. Although Su Yiyan had stayed by Hu Qinhuan's side for a while in the form of a wandering soul in her previous life, at that time, Hu Qinhuan was very busy with all kinds of things. It was common for her not to eat, and even if she did eat, she would just drink a bottle of nutrient solution casually. There was no problem of not tasting good food at all. Hu Qinhuan was stunned by the words for the rest of his life and surrendered on the spot. I like things with a strong taste, and I don't like things that are too bland. After saying that, she seemed to have thought of something and added, what you made last time was very good. Su Yiyan laughed. Although the soup she made last time was appetizing, if Hu Qinhuan had a strong taste, then it was indeed a bit too bland. Then I'll make something else tomorrow and see if it suits your taste. I know how to make a lot of things, so you don't have to worry about not being able to find something you like. Okay. After figuring out Hu Qinhuan's taste, Su Yiyan already had a plan in mind. She glanced at her favorability that had risen to 60 to 70,000. There was still a certain distance to the next level of 100,000. She almost didn't hesitate to exchange for a chili seed. That's right, chili was also a medicinal plant that had gone extinct in this world. There were ordinary green onions, ginger, and garlic, but to cook fish with just ginger was still a little lacking. The next morning, Su Yiyan turned on the live broadcast on time. There were already about 1,000 people waiting online. When she came online, it only took a few seconds for the number of people to suddenly soar to over 10,000. Su Yiyan was just about to introduce today's ingredients when a bunch of high rewards broke into her sight. Congratulations to the live broadcast room, Yinyan's Little Kitchen, for receiving a luxurious villa *10 from the user, Golden Eye Gun I Don't Fall. Congratulations to the live broadcast room, Yinyan's Little Kitchen, for receiving a giant oil tanker *10 from the user, Big Big You Big. Congratulations to the live broadcast room, Yinyan's Little Kitchen, for receiving a rose *100 from the user, the most handsome man in the universe. The audience that came in later was stunned by the rewards as soon as they entered. What's going on? The streamer has just started broadcasting and there are already rich people flooding the screen. Why do the IDs of these viewers look so familiar? Aren't they the lucky audience members that the streamer drew yesterday? Oh my god, it's true. So, did they come back to thank the streamer after getting something that was really effective? If I remember correctly, the medicinal cuisine made by the host last night seemed to be. So these people, the internet had memories, especially since there were quite a number of people who had watched the live broadcast yesterday. Everyone still remembered what the two of them had done before the lucky draw. At this time, everyone was competing at the two of them on the screen, asking them to prove whether Su Yien's medicinal cuisine was really effective. Naturally, it was impossible for the two of them to appear. Just like before, they silently pretended to be dead. However, this did not affect their good mood at the moment. Take Yang Jinyu for example. After drinking the soup, he hesitated for a long time. In the end, he still asked his new 99th girlfriend out. After a simple candlelight dinner, the two got down to business. Yang Jinyu was pleasantly surprised to find that the problem that had been troubling him recently was really solved. You're tuning in to the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.